we have some things in common. You grew up in a single-family household, single-mother household. I grew up with both of my parents, but raised in the Bronx projects amidst a lot of poverty and violence. And you are the first black senator elected in the South since the Reconstruction. That would be I think about 114 years. Yet you say that your life disproves leftist lies. And
Yes.
my question to you is, I'm the exception, right? You're the exception. Maybe even Miss Whoopi Goldberg is the exception.
Oh, she's definitely the
but we are not the rule. And so when it comes to racial inequality, it persists in 5 core aspects of life in the U.S. Economics, education, healthcare, criminal justice, and housing. At nearly every turn, these achievements were fought, threatened, and erased, most often by white violence. You have indicated that you don't believe in systemic racism. What is your definition of systemic racism?
Let me answer the question that you've answered.
Or does it even exist in your mind?
Yeah, let me answer the question this way. One of the things that I think about, and one of the reasons why I'm on the show, is because of the comments that were made, frankly, on this show, that the only way for a young African-American kid to be successful in this country is to be the exception and not the rule. That is a dangerous, offensive, disgusting message to send to our young people today, that the only way to succeed is by being the exception. I will tell you that if my life is the exception, I can't imagine.
But it is.
But it's not, actually. It's
been 114 years.
Yeah, so the fact of the matter is we've had an African-American president, African-American vice president. We've had 2 African-Americans to be secretaries of the state. In my home city, the police chief is an African-American who's now running for mayor. The head of the highway patrol for South Carolina is an African-American.
Still
in
exceptions.
In 1975, there was about 15% employment in the African-American community. For the first time in the history of the country, it's under 5%.
40% homelessness.
And 50%
of African Americans,
50% of the folks in our community.
Yet 13% of the population.
You had the chance to ask the question. I know that I've watched you on the show that you like people to be deferential and respectful, so I'm going to do the same thing.
That is true.
So here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest the fact of the matter is that progress in America is palpable. It can be measured in generations. I look back at the fact that my grandfather, born in 1921 in Sally, South Carolina, when he was on a sidewalk, a white person was coming, he had to step off and not make eye contact. That man believed then, with some doubt now, in the goodness of America, because he believed that having faith in God, faith in himself, and faith in what the future could hold for his kids would unleash opportunities in ways that you cannot imagine. Every kid today can look, just change the stations and see how much progress has been made in this country. ABC, NBC, CBS, ESPN, CNN, Fox News all have African-American and Hispanic hosts. So what I'm suggesting is that the yesterday's exception is today's rule. And for us to
so
suggest...
America has met its promise.
No, of course, the concept of America is that we are going to become a more perfect union. That in fact, the challenges that we face 50 years ago and 60 years ago should not be the same challenges that we face today. And here's the way that you measure that. When my mother was born, about 10% of African Americans got a high school degree, diploma. Today, it's over 90%. When you look at the income success that we've had...
That's an HBCU stat.
Well, listen, HBCU stat is a good one, because one of the reasons why I took the funding for HBCUs to the highest level in the history of the country, and then I helped make it permanent, is because I believe that education is the closest thing to magic in America. So I'm about making sure that our kids have as many opportunities to succeed as possible.
Looking at the women in the view, we have Tim Scott on team. Tim Scott came to the view. Tim Scott. You could see Tim Scott and Whoopi and Sonny go back and forward. Whoopi, Sonny tried to tell Tim Scott that the black people, you have exceptions. Like her, she break the rules. Like Whoopi also grows in a project. She too grew up in a project. Tim Scott himself grew up in a project in New York. But after everything, Tim Scott is the only black senator for now. After like 142 years, the only black Republican senator, that's Tim Scott on the other side. Sonny went ahead and said that even in her own family, she broke that, but it has not been like that for everyone. So what do Tim Scott really think? So Sonny trying to tell Tim Scott that there's a lot of bias in the country, that's why the black people are not going ahead. You just have feel like that. Then Tim Scott is in denial. Tim Scott came and gave with his own proof and said, nope, they have done well for themselves, and that's a wrong idea to teach the younger generation. The younger generation have to know that somebody like him, she knew that academic education was very necessary, so he had to study so hard that his grandfather back then would not even look at the Caucasian person at the eye. He looked down, and he knew that him and his children will trust in God, and they can become anything they want to become. It's just determination. So Tim Scott went further and said that looking at the time the mother was being born, when the mother graduated from high school, it's just like 10% of black people have high school certificate. But now looking at it, you have more opportunity, more people now, more women, and now be more educated. There's more education compared to the time. So each year black people are having more opportunity. So why is Sony not looking at that? Looking at the ABC, the CNN, you have a lot of people that are white, are black people, are black hosts. So God have really lifted up the black people. They are not where they used to be. So there is not, Sony cannot just be saying that they have been left behind, they have been left behind. According to Tim Scott, basically, he also went and talked about the former Secretary of State. It was a black woman also. You have black, Obama was a black man and he ruled. You have a lot of black people. The chief of state where he come from, the police chief is a black person. So he said that you have a lot of black people that are high of regard. So Sony cannot just say like the black people have been caged. So according to him, it was a will of determination. You should take the opportunity and use it. Your life is going to be favorable for you, according to him. So he does not want to label himself just to sit in one corner and tie himself in that direction without any growth. So that's why he established, not find what Sony was saying, that he did not agree with that, so he was against it. So actually, what do you think of Tim Scott? Do you believe his own method, that that's true? The black people are not where they used to be, that there is no there's equality everywhere in the country. You cannot look at anything as a biased mind. So what do you really think? Do you support the fact that he said that black people is a rule, is not an exception, like what Sony was saying, they have exception? But according to Tim Scott, there's a lot of development that have been going through. So why would they not push on that? They're pushing on the wrong thing. So actually, what do you think? Let me see your opinion in the comment section about Tim Scott. Thank you very much for watching. If you are not subscribed, please help subscribe and help share the video. Underneath this video will be my Shopee link. Please, you can shop, help and support me. Thank you very much and God bless you.